Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. All praises, blessed be the Most High Yahweh and Yahweh Shah in the name of the Holy Spirit. Want to give peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect and all the brothers out here pushing this truth, risking their lives, their jobs, their families, everything. Same way y'all see Kanye and Nick Cannon, all them being persecuted, man, we get persecuted way worse than that, right? But the righteous, we don't care about losing none of that stuff, right? Because it's prophesied, right? And also to the few sisters out there who's diligent in keeping the word, keeping the commandments, etc. Um, I guess it's quickly a late night snack because conversation has came up several times. So I'll title this, if you will, "Suffer Not a Wish to Live," right? Because this fall season is very satanic. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. I'm gonna try to touch on it real quick, just using some scriptures, if you will. So I'll just get right to it. Exodus 22, right? 18. The Most High says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," right? You don't be going all over their house doing new moon parties and vision board parties and all of that. And we're gonna get to what witches are, witchcraft, sorcery, um, charmers, those who seek familiar spirits. We're gonna touch on that, okay? Because America is built off of sorcery and witchcraft. Okay, it's built off of it. That's what the forefathers was doing. All right. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 47. I was just on it. I should have stayed up there. Isaiah 47, um, prophecy about America by Babylon. I started verse 1, so for confirmation who this talking about. Verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Right? So this is not the old Babylon for the Christians who don't understand scripture. This is virgin daughter of Babylon, meaning the rebirth. Right? This is talking about now. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, right? America, the glory, the beauty of the kingdoms, right? They got the Babylonian goddess sitting out there in the midst of the waters in New York. Go down to verse 8, okay? Therefore, hear now this, thou art given to pleasures, thou dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Meaning America think, man, we ain't losing no war. Ain't nothing happen to us. We got the baddest military on the planet. That's how they feel. That's how it's prophesied in this. He gave us the game thousands of years ago. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment and one day, like in Revelations. They're gonna be judged within an hour. The loss of children, war, right? And widowhood, war. Thou shalt come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, right? So because of their sorceries and because of their enchantments, matter of fact, let's get there. Let's just get into sorceries because we need to understand what exactly sorcery is. All right, sorcery, witchcraft. All right, so it's to enchant or to practice magic. It's any sort of sorcery, witchcraft. Right, that's exactly what that is. Okay, let me just go back real quick. I just want to touch on this so people understand. And enchantments, that's Walt Disney and all them all day long. Okay, that's why they say an enchantment, magical, enchanting, like all during Christmas and all during Valentine's. This place is built off of wickedness. Okay, verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, because they trusted and they believe in it. Thou hast said, no one seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. This war, what's going to happen is judgment. It's going to hit these shores. Thou shalt not know from when it rises. You ain't going to get a warning from CNN. They ain't going to say, World War III, America has entered World War III. That ain't happening. You're going to walk outside like the movie Red Dawn, and you're going to see Chinese and Russian jets flying over your head. in the middle of verse 11. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. They're not going to know, right? Verse 12. This is the Most High saying to them, so keep that same energy. This is what he's saying, right? Verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, right? So keep that same energy. Stay with the witches, stay with the warlocks, stay with your crystals and your crystal charging in the moon. Keep that same energy when these bomb drops, right? Wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, because America's founded on witchcraft, on sorcery, on necromancy. It was founded on that. What was that, 1776? Constitution, Bill of Rights, all that stuff, right? When I was coming up, what, 70s and 80s in the elementary, when they teaching us to write in what? Cursive. You're cursing yourselves. Or when we signed documents back then, they would say, hey, put your John Hancock right here. Your John Hancock, your signature in cursive, because they were what they call it, master masons, 33, level 33 and above. It's all sorcery. It's all witchcraft, right? I'll finish out verse 12. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. All right. I just want to touch on that because it's talking about America. So now we understand what sorcery is. So the Most High gave that prophecy. That means during that time, it's going to be high level of sorcery and witchcraft. Look at all the witches walking around now, right? Using certain oils and ointments and doing things to your food. Man, down here in the South, y'all, you Texas, Louisiana, Florida, they understand what I'm saying very well. All right. So now that we understand that prophecy, let's stay in Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 19. Okay. Because this is prophecy about what's going on right now here in America. This is what's going to be happening upon Yahweh return, Christ's return. Isaiah 19, we'll go to verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. World War III. He ain't talking about the Egyptians back then fighting the Egyptians. Isaiah wasn't in Egypt. Okay? This is what's going on now. This is going to be Esau versus Esau. We're supposed to be sitting back drinking our Kool-Aid. All right? I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. This is also the same thing Christ Yahweh was quoting when he says it's going to be wars and rumors of wars. And people just say, oh, rumors of wars. You forget that he says there's going to be wars. I mean, it's going to happen. All right. Verse 3, here's what's going on. And the spirit of Egypt, talking about America, Babylon, shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, White Jesus and everybody else, right? And to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. You ain't finna see a tall white man with a long beard to the ground and a witch's cone of power hat on his head walking around. You got witches, warlocks, wizards, charmers, familiar spirits. You got all that stuff. And a lot of our brothers, but mostly our sisters, are dealing in that stuff right now. It's high level. This is why it's mostly women who's dealing with that. Because they were the first to see. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that. Let's go to Genesis 3, I believe, when she was talking to Adam. Yeah, there it is. Okay, right? Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. I mean, he's very cunning. He's very tricking. You can talk a good game in a married woman's ear, and you sleeping with her later, right? He's very cunning, right? Any beast of the field, right? Let's look at serpent. Let's look at that. So we can understand what Satan was doing really in the garden. He wasn't just, Eve, you can be a god. You can do this. Women are so easily deceived. You put up a Christmas tree with magical sounds and crystals and diamonds, and you're going to lure in every single woman. He's subtle. He know what it takes. The word serpent, the original Hebrew word for that is nakash. That's the original Hebrew word. I'm glad it's showing that, because the word serpent and all that shouldn't be there. Let's see what it was doing. Okay. A serpent to practice divination. You see that? I want y'all to see that. To practice divination, right? To observe signs or omens. Divination. Let's keep going. Enchantment, divine, enchanter. So, what do you think Satan was doing to Eve in that garden? He used witchcraft on her, enchantment. He probably had her out there burning sage and stuff. He used witchcraft. These are Satan's children. This is what they use. So, Halloween, for example, all week, is if you live in Texas, all week, if your child went to a public school, all week, they had what they call Spirit Week. What spirit are they trying to get you in? The first day, every last one of those children were to wear the color red. Because we don't know what Halloween is. Hallows Eve, the Day of the Dead. We don't understand that that was a whole week. And the first day of that 7-day week was what? Blood sacrifice. This is nothing new under the sun. This is why in Psalms and in Corinthians it says, we sacrificed our children up to idols, up to devils, and we didn't even know it. That's why it says we don't need to be around these people. It's spiritual wickedness in high places, right? They had the blood, right? Then they had maybe a pajama day. Then they had a book character day. Once you dress up and put on these different personas and spirits, you take that on. It's witchcraft. It's enchantment. It's charming. It's charming you, right? This is what they're doing. So this is what Satan was doing to Eve in that garden. Okay. So a lot of the let me get to a little more into the witchcraft, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 17, right? Right, yeah. This is one I want. Deuteronomy 17, we'll start at verse 2, right? If there be found among you within any of the gates which Yahweh our power have given thee, man or woman, that have wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh our power in transgressing his covenant. This is for the Christians who say we only got the covenant of the Ten Commandments, right? Verse 3. And had gone to serve other gods, right? This is for the zodiac people, right? And worship them, either the sun or the moon or any of the hosts of heaven. You're looking at the stars and all this kind of stuff, astrology, which I have not commanded, right? And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquire diligently, and behold, it be true. And the thing certain that such abomination, keep that word in mind, it's an abomination, is wrought in Israel. So it's an abomination to do this stuff. This is even what going to church on Sunday is. It's sun worship. It's an abomination. Keep that word in mind. It's an abomination. There's another one in Deuteronomy. Let me get that one. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay. This is for all the sisters doing the tarot cards and all this other kind of stuff. It's all witchcraft. Vision boards. It's all witchcraft. Right. Deuteronomy 4, start at verse 13. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. Right? So he said, even 10 commandments, not just only Christians, even. So he's saying, no, dude, I gave you the law, but look, I also gave you 10 commandments. Those 10 commandments are within the law. Right? And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. Verse 14. And Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you the statutes and judgments, that you might do them in the land whither you go. Okay? Now watch. Let me get the other one. It's so I just wanted to get that part, right? And we go to verse 19. So that's just proof that all of this stuff is in the law and it's all a commandment. Verse 19. So if you do any of this, you out of there, right? Verse 19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes to heaven when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, right? Like a lot of these women who are in witchcraft, they worship and honor Jupiter and all of that, right? Shouldest be driven to worship them, see, and serve them, which Yahweh our power had divided into all nations under the whole heaven, meaning it's destruction. It's a wrap. It's gonna be destruction. Like see verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day Yahweh spoke unto you in Horeb in the midst of the incredible on the part how you make well, no, it don't work that way. Okay, excuse me. So we not to bring nothing abominable into our house. Like Christmas trees, that's in Jeremiah chapter 10. It's abominable. It comes from Nimrod. It's Saturnalia, right? Christmas trees. I'm gonna speak on that for a minute. Christmas trees. There's no fat white man flying around in the sky being at everybody's house in one night. But it's spiritual wickedness in high places. This is how this country was founded. This is why Christmas wasn't celebrated everywhere. When you bring that Christmas tree into your house, that represents Satan. That's Nimrod. It represents Nimrod, Satan. You spiritually, now he's in your house. This is why the Most High said, don't bring nothing abominable. If I say it's an abomination, like the Most High said that Christmas tree is an abomination, he said, don't bring it into your house. When you bring that into your house, you gave Satan access to you and all your children. Not only for just Christmas Day, it's spiritual wickedness. It's for the whole year going forward. That's why they have New Year's in January, which is Janus. That's a pagan god. It's necromancy. That's also an abomination. It's necromancy, witchcraft, charmers, familiar spirits, astral projectors, astrologers, witches, warlocks. On New Year's Day, Janus, January 1, that's 7 days, right? That's 7 days after Christmas. Christ Mass. Say it slow. Christ Mass. It's Christ's death. They're celebrating the death of Christ on Christmas. They're celebrating the death and the conquer of the Israelites on Thanksgiving. 7 is the number of completion to the Most High. So once you complete that ritual, if you will, that's why they say, don't take down your Christmas trees until after January 1st. You have to complete that ritual. It's a ritual. And now Satan got access to your house for the rest of the year, whether you know it or not. It does not matter. He's more subtle than any other beast of the field. This is why they target Christmas and all that stuff towards who? Women. They target it towards them. Every kiss begins with K and all this glittering and enchantment. They luring you in like Peter the Piper. That's what's going on, okay? Matter of fact, let's get that so people think, well, I can bring it in and I can do this. No, we can't. Matter of fact, I should have stayed in Deuteronomy. I think that's in 7, right? Deuteronomy 7:26. Boom, there it is right there. I'll just get straight to it. Y'all can read 25 and up on your own. Verse 26. Neither shalt thou bring in an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. Because it's cursed. That whole Christmas tree and all that came from way back, long time ago. It all started with a snake in a tree. You putting a snake around your tree when you trimming your tree. Children, lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it. I mean, you destroy it. You get that shit out your house. And thou shalt utterly abhor it. You shall hate it. It's okay to hate. You're supposed to love good and hate evil. For it is a cursed thing. You don't bring it into your house. What does that have to do with Christ's birth? Christmas ain't got nothing to do with Christ's birth. Nothing. He wasn't even born in December 25th. It's all witchcraft. Well, you celebrate his birthday. Well, what does bringing a tree into your house have to do with anything? They ain't even have what, did Mary and them have a Christmas tree? What are 33 birthdays of Christ celebrated in the Bible? No. They've beguiled us, right? Subtile than any other beast of the field. Matter of fact, let's get that. It said abomination, right? So now that you know that's an accursed thing, that's an abomination, let's get Christ's words from pretty much close to the last book of the Bible, right? We go to Revelation chapter 21. Let's go to verse 8, right? But the fearful, you can't be fearful to speak this truth, right? Celebrities, Kanye, Nick Cannon, Kyrie, the righteous are bold as lions. But the fearful, unbelieving, and the abominable. So if you bring in a Christmas tree in your house, you got the ham on your plate on Thanksgiving, you're abominable. All right, this is Habashah talking. This is your white Jesus. The fearful, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and the murderers, and the whoremongers, and the what? The sorcerers. Now that we know what sorcery is, we just pull that up, right? All the stuff. Well, you got different plants and candles and all this other kind of stuff in your house, man. Get that out your house. Get that out your house. October, November, December is very wicked. In January, what they have us do? Keep the Christmas tree up, and then what they have us do? For the vegans out there, I'm gonna put one on y'all. What they have us do? Make black eyed peas and tell you it's for good luck on New Year's. I'm gonna leave that for y'all to look up where black eyed peas really come from. Let me keep going. The idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So we can't be doing nothing abominable. Okay? So it's a very wicked time of year. Let me go back. I want to touch on that tree and stuff again. Let me go back. Because Halloween, if you don't know if that's wicked now and you spiritually and all that sacrificing your kids, remember we back in Egypt and Sodom. It's spiritual, right? It's spiritual wickedness in high places. The Israelites are still of the blood. Don't get that twisted. Ain't no grafted in. You can't be grafted. You go out and plant an orange tree and then go out and I'm gonna throw a watermelon down here and it's gonna grow up and I'm gonna have oranges and watermelon and oranges and apples on the same tree. It don't work. Right? So don't let them use that lie against y'all. You know if you're an Israelite. Let's go to Isaiah 66. Okay? And this ain't happened yet, by the way. Isaiah 66 and verse 15. Right? For behold, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, will come with fire and with his chariots. So he's going to have the elect. He's going to have them chariots, right? Like a whirlwind. Whirlwind is destruction. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke. Rebuke means correction. With flames of fire. Letting you know that it's wrong, right? For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. It's going to be many. Verse 17. They that sanctify themselves. This is prophesied thousands of years ago. When you sanctify yourself, you're saying that you're saved. Remember, the scriptures say these heathens, they search out our iniquities, meaning they go through our scriptures, they find out what the Most High don't like, and they make us like it. They use enchantment and witchcraft on us to make us think it's good. You go to church, oh, well, girl, is he saved? I'm saved. I'm saved by the blood of Jesus. You're not saved. You see that? They sanctify themselves. Who told you were saved? Okay, hold these. This is what Christ's saying. They sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst. Where's that Christmas tree while y'all at Thanksgiving and while y'all at Christmas dinner? That Christmas tree is right in the midst of y'all. This is what he's talking about. Eating swine's flesh, that ham is right on your damn table. This is what he's talking about. And the abomination, all of that, what we just covered. And the mouse, because remember Edom and Moab, the Most High going to put the most judgment on them. Stop eating at them places. You ain't eating orange chicken. You eating a rat. Shall be consumed together, said the Most High. Okay, so you bring that abominable tree into your house that covers Christmas. You got that ham on your plate. This ain't happened yet. That's proof that, well, I can eat what I want and I can pray over it. No, you got that ham, shrimp, pork, lobster, anything on your plate. When your Habashah come back, then you can have shrimp juice dripping down your chin and in your beard. He knocking our heads straight off. That's what's happening. Okay. Let's what Jeremiah chapter 10 for those who don't know about the Christmas trees. Jeremiah chapter 10, start at verse 1 and read down a few verses, right? Let me give you an example. People don't think this witchcraft and all this stuff is real. Those of us down here in the South, we know it's real. They take a picture, put it in your shoe. They put their menstrual cycle in your food. They do a lot of wicked stuff. Take a piece of your locks, cut a piece of your hair. They can do a lot of wicked stuff. They do spells, potions, all of that. All medicine and pharmacia, pharmaceuticals, aka the JAB, right? The vid, that's what I'm gonna call it, right? That's sorcery, that's witchcraft. I've done other studies on that or other posts on that. That's what it is. So Most High judging them because of what? They made the whole world, take what, and the whole world gonna get pissed at them when they find out what it really is, right? Let's go to let me give you an example of the sorcery and witchcraft and how we know that it's real because we have to see this. People who can what am I say what we call them in the scriptures, familiar spirits. People who can channel people from the dead and all that, and say, I talk with your cousin. My cousin been dead for 10 years. He told me to tell you he's fine. He's okay. That's real. Those people are wicked, but that's real. Why the pastor not covering this during Halloween? Instead, they having trunk or treat at the damn church. Matter of fact, let's get there. First Samuel chapter 28. Now, this chapter is long, so read chapter 27, 28. Read chapter like 26, 27, but I'm going to just hit the high spots on 28. So, long story short, King Samuel died. Saul was in charge, and I just hit the hot spots on what happened. Saul used a witch, or he used a one who could seek familiar spirits to try to talk to Samuel. All right. So First Samuel chapter 28 verse 3. Now Samuel was dead, and all of Israel had lamented to him, and buried him in Ramah, even his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, those who can try to seek the dead, and wizards out of the land. Why? Because they was keeping the law. The Most High says, suffer a witch not to live. You burn them, you kill them, you cut their heads off. The Most High not playing with them. All right? I'm going to skip down, verse 6. So, and when Saul inquired of Yahweh, so sometimes when you feel like you pray to the Most High and he ain't answering you, it's because he ain't dealing with you. The Most High is just like us. Sometimes don't I cut this person off, I cut them off. Well, then you or that person, they know what they did while you cut them off. You think Saul didn't know what he did? The Most High cut him off. This is what happened. The Most High stopped hearing his prayers. This is why I tell sisters, take that weave out your head. The Most High do not hear your prayers, but Satan does, like he heard Eve. The Most High does not hear your prayers. If we're doing wickedly, the Most High don't hear us. You might think he hear you, but he ain't hearing you. That's somebody else. Let me go through it. Verse 6. And when Saul inquired of Yahweh, Yahweh answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by the prophets. Because sometimes you can pray, and the Most High won't answer you directly. He'll come to you in your dream around 3 a.m. or he'll give you what to do in your dream. You just got to understand it. That's why you got to be constantly around a man of understanding. Stop going to women to have them interpret your dreams. You better go to you better go to the men of the Lord so they can interpret it. Because the woman gonna give you emotions. That's not what you want. You better ask somebody who's connected to the Most High. Hey, I had a dream about this. What happened? Or you can pray to the Most High, and I or another brother or something might come to you and say, hey, You good? You need anything? Da-da-da. And you just, what? Man, how you know? I don't know. The Most High just told me to reach out to you. Here you go. Boom. Handle that. This is what happens. All right. Verse 7. So the Most High wasn't dealing with Saul, right? Verse 7. Saul said unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit. In other words, man, go give me one of them witches. Go give me one of them chicks who doing sage and crystals and my chakras and all that. Go give me one of them, right? That I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said unto him, behold, there is a woman that have a familiar spirit and endure. I mean, like, oh yeah, I know one of them. She live over there in Oak Cliff. She live in Houston. She live in Dallas. Yeah, I know one. Okay, so verse 8, Saul disguised himself. Why did he disguise himself? Because he just killed all of the witches and warlocks and wizards out of the land. So Saul took off his what? Off his Israelite attire. Let me take off my garments. Let me take off my fringes. Let me take off that. Let me go put on a Dallas Cowboy jersey or something. How regular dudes just walking around here today. We ain't dressed like that, dog. So he put on something that everyday man wearing, so she wouldn't know who he was. That's why Saul disguised himself, put on other raiment, and went. And two men went with him, and they came to the woman by night. Why? Because when you go do stuff at night, what your ass doing? You creeping. You doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, right? Nothing good happens after what? We say midnight, but nothing good really happens after night, right? And he said, I pray thee, I ask of thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. So he's like, hey, look, so Pete, I need you to bring up somebody. But he didn't say name yet. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest Saul had done how he cut off those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then thou layest a snare for my life to cause me to die. In other words, like, nigga, you know Saul killed, he killing all the witches. You would think this Game of Thrones or something, like, yo, he killing all the witches, bro, and then you would come ask me to do this? You trying to set me up? That's what she's saying. Verse 10. And Saul sware to her by Yahweh, another thing we're not supposed to do, saying, as Yahweh liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Okay, verse 11. Then the woman, the witch, said, I bet. Whom shall I bring up to thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. King Samuel. See, because we just read earlier, King Samuel was dead. So he's like, yo, bring me up King Samuel. All right. So the woman brought up King Samuel. Verse 12. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. Man, she shouted, she screamed. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. So when she brought up Samuel, once you bring up in the spirit, like I run into witches and all this stuff all the time, they'll look at me just like in the book of Acts. When that chick had the spirit on her, right? And she kept following Paul and them around saying, these are children of the Most High. These his prophets. We can go to heaven by listening to them, by being around them, we good. Like Yahweh told people, he said, you should save yourself and those who hear you. The witch knew that. She said, no. If I'm around these niggas right here, I'm good. Well, I shouldn't say the N-word, but if I'm around these brothers, oh, I know I'm straight. All right? So the woman screamed in verse 12, and she asked Saul, bro, why you lie to me? Verse 13. And the king said unto her, be not afraid for what thou sawest. Right? So it was King Saul. He said unto her, say, don't be afraid what you saw. And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. This is what a bunch of people don't get today. This is what, because it's nothing new. This is what Yahweh was saying to the disciples and to the Israelites when he was walking, where Christ was saying. He was like, ain't it written in your law that y'all gods? He was like, so when I call you one, why you calling me a devil? So this witch, right? This familiar spirit seeker, when she saw King Samuel come up, guess who came up with him? Other Hebrews. So we don't go nowhere by ourselves. She saw gods coming out of the earth. Because she know we the Israelites. They know we the elect. They know we not all one and we all, well, if I'm a believer, this woman was a believer. She knew who the Most High was. She knew who his sons was because she said they were gods. And she believed who we were because she screamed. How come she ain't saved? Anyway, right? I just want to see that. I want to read all that on my own. I mean, not on my own. I want to read all that right now because just get into Saul and Samuel, you're gonna start having a conversation. But I just want to touch on the point that this this enchantment, the witchcraft, people who them people from India, Elam, they walk around and they, oh, let me pray for you, let me touch you, and we call them a whole red dot on the forehead. That's real. Stay away from these people. Your homegirl having a vision board party, stay the hell away from her. That's all witchcraft. It don't matter if they say, well, we doing it for this and it's really no. She don't know what she's into. She's beguiled. Eve. She's fooled by the enchantments and the sorcery and the witchcraft. Okay? They seek out any and everything that they could do. Okay? There's a matter of fact, there's another instance, if you will. I'm gonna touch on it because I mean I'm in the spirit, right? In Numbers, okay? In Numbers, what is that? Numbers. It's a whole bunch of chapters in Numbers. It's like Numbers chapter 22 through chapter 26, but I'm only gonna touch on the ones in 23. So Balaam. So Balak asked Balaam to curse Israel. Balaam was a witch, right? Witch, warlock, all that type of stuff. He could curse people, okay? Letting you know that it's real. This is in Numbers. This is also why Yahweh Shah said, or Christ said in Revelations, the doctrine of Balaam, which I also hate. He was going into Christmas because he knew that would be the greatest. He said one of. We'll get there. It's in Revelations 2. That was one of the Salakia, excuse me. That was one of the greatest stumbling blocks for Israel. This enchantment, this witchcraft, because we will be here in this land. That's why Yahweh Shah said, I hate the doctrine of Balaam, because this is the stuff that they doing. Spiritual wickedness in high places. Another example, before I get into that. Almost every school, if your child goes to school, almost every school got a giant obelisk on the top of it. Or it's built looking like a pyramid at the top. That's an obelisk. And in the front of that school will have what? Columns. So everyone inside is under what? Under a spell, under witchcraft. That's what's going on. That's why when you go to school, they have things like Spirit Week for Halloween all week. They have Easter, they have Christmas, they have New Year's, they have Valentine's Day, they have all of those pagan satanic holidays. So the sisters are not wrong when they say, man, I'm homeschooling my child. Or I seen one sister say, I'm not going to sacrifice my child up to these devils. She was right. And this sister, she was Israelite by blood, but she wasn't. I don't know what she's doing, but I would assume she wasn't keeping the commandments just from looking at her Instagram and Twitter page. She just said, nah, I homeschool mine. She said, nah, I ain't finna send my child in there with them devils. She was right. That's why they had those columns. It's channeling energy. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. If you don't know that by now, look at your own life and how we came up and look at what you know now versus what they didn't teach you in school. You learned all witchcraft. That's what you learned. You learned your ABC 1, 2, 3. Still witchcraft. They taught you how to spelling, casting a spell. English is a bastard language, like the Most High says. They taught you math, but they really didn't teach you math. We don't even use the same metric system here on this side of the hemisphere. Every other country uses a different metric system. Here's an example. Ask any athlete, right? I was an athlete, but I didn't run track, so ask any athlete. You run the 100-yard dash here. In the Olympics, they run the 100-meter dash. That's two different things. Anyway, let's get back to it. Numbers chapter 23. I'll just go to verse. Well, I cover verse 4 and verse 5. Balak is asking Balaam to curse the children of Israel, right? So I go to verse 7, number 23 and 7. And he took up a parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, had brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, come, curse me, Jacob, and come, defy Israel. How shall I curse what Yahweh had not cursed? Or how shall I defy whom Yahweh have not defiled? Meaning, if the Israelites, if we are doing good, if we keep the commandments, right, to the best of our ability, right, in and out of captivity, nobody can curse you. Now, that don't mean you go tempting people, but So if you're around witches and your homegirls, and if you keeping the commandments, the law, statutes, commandments, all that, if you keeping the commandments, they can't lay a finger on you. They gonna fear you. They gonna know that, wait, if I even try to, the Most High gonna kill me. I've had people try and do all that stuff to me before, but if you a son of the Most High, they know. They know. They'll try, and then when they hit that, like, oh, whoa, they see you in the spiritual realm, just like what we just covered. That witch saw King Saul and he saw King Samuel. She was like, oh, yo, I can't do nothing. Okay. So I'm gonna skip down to verse 11, right? Because this goes on for chapters. So read like Numbers chapter 22 through, like, you can go all the way through chapter 28, 29 if you want to. All right. Verse 11. And Balak said unto Balaam, what hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse mine enemies, meaning, bro, I told you to curse the children of Israel. And behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, must I not take heed to speak that which Yahweh had put in my mouth? Meaning the witches, the warlocks, the necromancer, if you doing wrong and you doing this, he'll let them put a spell on you. But you see how that witch, if you will, warlock, if you will, tried to curse Israel, and the Most High put that spirit in his mouth, said, nah, he ain't finna touch my kids. Who you think you are? He's saying, bro, I can't do it. Hey, that's letting you know that we don't have free will. People, oh, I got free will. No, you don't. Once that spirit hits you, no. People like, oh, well, I know I'm an Israelite. Well, it's only a few of us who many are called, but few are chosen. You don't have a choice. Those of us who are speaking this truth, you don't have a choice. You can try to stop if you want to. The Most High gonna beat you over the head. If you an elect, if you chosen, if you one of the ones who chose, you ain't got a choice. He wanted to curse Israel. Well, how come his free will didn't override the Most High? Because the Most High is up there, man. He controlling all of this. Okay? So, I mean, this went a little longer than what I expected, but, I just want to touch on how wicked it is. All right? So, Halloween, all this week, it was a spirit week, right? The 31st is number 7. Okay? I think that's Monday. It's a wicked, spiritual, satanic week. And then Sunday, leading into the Day of the Dead or Hallows Eve, you got what? Church. So you're doing more wickedness. Thanksgiving, slaughtering of the Israelites. The turkey represents cut off of the Levite's head, cut off of the Indian head, if you will. Okay? Then the day after that is Black Friday. You got the Israelites on sale in captivity, just like we were in Israel. We were on sale. They was getting us for cheap. They weren't even paying money. They was trading us and trading our women for wine, for some Jack Daniels. Okay, let's get there. The spirit on me. I mean, so we're gonna get there, right? Joel chapter 3. Let's get there. Let's get there. Let's get the prophecy, right? We're gonna start off with it right here, verse 1 through 3. I'll read the first few verses, right? Chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. All of us went into captivity. When they try to say, the Israelites ain't no more. Well, we don't know who's an Israelite. Man, we know who is Israelite. Who went into captivity on them slave ships? We know who we are. The Spirit bear witness with our spirit, right? Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Judgment Day, right? Or what they call it, Armageddon. And will plead with them for my people, so we know who the Israelites are, and for my heritage, Israel. So a black Hebrew Israelite, it's not a religion. It's your heritage. It's your birthright, because it's the Most High's. We are of his blood. Anyway, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. This ain't happened. Did Christ come back? Did he bring everybody to the valley of Jehoshaphat and Armageddon? Did any other prophet do it? No. Verse 3, to what I was saying about slavery, Black Friday and Thanksgiving. They have cast lots for my people. Auction block. 25, 35, 45. Look at the shoulders on that boy. Look at the legs. Look at the stout. And they had the women come up grabbing our testicles. Okay. They have cast lots for my people, Black Friday, have given a boy for a harlot, they would just take the boy or take the man and make him repopulate on the plantation, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. This is Black Friday slavery for cheap. They was trading us like we was Walmart 40-inch TV, $125 on Black Friday. They were just here. We give them that money. They give us what? They give us what we want. They give us the commodity. We were the money. We were the original Christmas ornaments, the slaves hanging on trees. They wanted some wine to get drunk during the winter season. They did what? Gave away one of their slaves for a bottle of wine. Let me find out, like, y'all okay with you giving your wife away for a bottle of Ciroc? Man, I just want to get lit. You giving your wife away for an eighth of weed? Like, come on. This is what they were doing. Okay. So it's spiritual wickedness in high places. So that's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that Christmas tree, that ham on your plate. That song, the 12 Days of Christmas, that's wicked. Where do you think that 12 come from? They're talking about zodiacs and they're talking about the Israelites. That's where it comes from. Christmas Day has nothing to do with Christ. You got that tree in the midst of you, that ham on the table. 7 days later, you celebrating New Year's Day on January, aka Janus the 1st. Necromancy. Look that up. That's in the scriptures. That's necromancy. It's looking to the past and looking to the future. Satan wants to be like the Most High. Right? He can't do that. So he has to do something to be like him. He has to do a spiritual simile, if you will. He can be like him on Christmas Day, because you got that tree in your house, like on Nimrod, boom, he got access to your house. Now Santa, Satan, can be everywhere in one night. Now he can be omnipresent, okay? Fast forward to January 1st, Janus, right? Necromancy. Necromancy, you looking to the left, you looking to the right, you looking to the past and to the future. The Most High is the Ancient of Days. Only he can do that. He can look to the left and see the past, look to the right to see the future. That's where they get it from. So what happens at the end of the year? They do a recap of all your favorite shows, the best sports highlights from all year, the best volleyball highlights, the best TV highlights, America's Funniest Videos, the best highlights of all year. They have you looking to the past. Boom, the January 1st, you're looking forward. You're doing vision boards, New Year's resolutions. But guess who's still in your house because you gave access to for the next year? Satan. I want a new job. I want money. I want this. I want this. Well, you're already doing wickedly. He gonna bless you too. Bless sins. He gonna bless you too. Why? Because you just served him since October. You ain't serving the Most High. All right. So with that, hopefully the elect has been edified, and a few brothers and sisters who are here spreading this truth, risking their lives and risking their family. So with that, until next time, Shalom.